When did an officer shock you with kindness? My company commander drove 3 hours to my hometown funeral home at 2 a.m. to personally deliver my father's flag after I missed the ceremony because I was deployed, and he stayed to help my mom plan the memorial service I couldn't attend. This happened during my deployment to Afghanistan in 2019. My dad had been fighting cancer for 2 years, and I'd been trying to get emergency leave approved for weeks. The Army kept telling me the paperwork was processing, but nothing was moving fast enough. Dad passed away on a Tuesday morning while I was on patrol. My mom called the Red Cross, who contacted my unit, but by the time I got the message, it had been 6 hours. I immediately requested emergency leave, but the earliest flight home wouldn't get me there until after the funeral. My company commander, Captain Rodriguez, was this by-the-book officer who rarely showed emotion. He was professional but distant, and most of us assumed he didn't really care about individual soldiers beyond performance metrics. When he called me into his office to discuss the leave situation, I expected the usual military bureaucracy speech. Instead, Rodriguez told me he'd personally called every contact he had to try to get me home faster. When that didn't work, he made a decision that completely shocked me. He said he was going to drive to my hometown to represent me and our unit at my father's funeral. Rodriguez actually did it. He drove 6 hours from Fort Carson to my small town in Nebraska, showed up at the funeral in his dress uniform, and presented my mom with the flag on my behalf. He'd brought a letter I'd hastily written and read it during the service. After the funeral, Rodriguez stayed an extra day to help my mom with things I should have been there to handle. He helped her sort through my dad's paperwork, contacted the VA about benefits, and even helped her plan a memorial service for when I could finally get home. My mom later told me that Rodriguez spent hours listening to her talk about my dad, looking through photo albums and asking questions about our family. He wasn't just fulfilling some military obligation. He genuinely cared about making sure she felt supported. When I finally made it home 3 days later, Rodriguez had also arranged for flowers from our entire unit and had gotten every soldier in my company to sign a condolence card. The most touching thing was a handwritten note Rodriguez left for me. He wrote that losing a parent while deployed was one of the hardest things a soldier could face, and that he'd wished someone had done the same for him when his own father passed away during his first deployment. Rodriguez never mentioned what he'd done when I got back to Afghanistan. He didn't want recognition. He'd just seen a soldier in pain and decided to do something about it. The officer I thought was cold and distant turned out to have the biggest heart in the entire unit.